Hello, Dan Joss. How are you today?
Doing great. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Welcome back to another edition of Money Talks.
Thank you.
So, Money Talks, and people retire.
We do.
Yes.
And some of it had me thinking a while ago when we talked about year-end tasks.
Right.
And one of the year-end tasks we make sure our clients do is fund their retirement accounts.
That's a good idea. They could fund my retirement account, too.
I'd love them to fund my retirement, too.
Okay.
But really, it's not a year-end task if you look at the individual accounts that we're talking about.
It's not?
Some have to the end of the year. Some have till next year. Some accounts can be open next year for this year. Some have to be opened this year, even before the end of the year. So it's a mishmash of all kinds of stuff.
Okay. And you can contribute all year long, yes?
Sure.
Okay. So what are some of these different kinds of retirement accounts?
Save early, save often.
So, okay.
That's what
well,
I always
like
say.
that.
A retirement
are they
account.
all IRAs?
An IRA, they're all, in some sense, IRAs.
Okay.
Individual retirement arrangements.
Arrangements? I always thought of a retirement account.
A retirement account is one of the IRAs.
Okay.
So, a typical IRA, a traditional IRA, this year can be funded with up to $6,000.
Okay.
And if you're 50 or over, you can add another $1,000 to that, so $7,000.
Wow.
The account must be open and funded by the time you file your taxes. So technically, it's not the end of the year.
Right.
What many people do is they wait until tax day, open the account, make the contribution, get the deduction, and then they wait until the next year. What I encourage people to do is to have the account open and then fund it in January of that year so that it gets the whole 16 months working for you. And then if you look at the compounding rate of return, you know, that big sliding chart, those last couple of years have big changes.
Right.
So the sooner you get it in, the better it is.
I know people like that.
There's other IRAs, a SEP IRA,
Okay.
if you're a small business owner, simplified employee pension IRA. You could save up to 25% of your employee compensation.
Wow.
And so instead of $6,000 maximum, you could put away $57,000 if that's 25% of your earnings.
Right.
So that must be opened and funded by your tax filing date also.
Okay.
So you can open it backwards after you know how much you've earned. And then put some money in it and then take off $57,000 of your income as a pension contribution and deduction from your income and a deferral of that income tax.
Nice. Good ideas.
If you're over 50, you add $7,000 to a traditional IRA, and now you're up to $64,000 of retirement savings.
Wow.
The simple IRA, Savings Incentive Match Plan for Employees' Individual Retirement Account. You can contribute up to $13,500, much like traditional 401k or a 403b if you're in the nonprofit sector. That account must be opened by October 15th, so it's probably too late this year.
Okay.
But be ready next year. And you have until your tax filing date to fund it, so you could fund it backwards. Of course, if the account's already opened. One thing that has to be done before the end of the year is a Roth conversion, because that happens during the taxable year.
Okay.
So if you convert some of your money from a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA in that calendar year, that will be counted as income that year, but then the amount that you convert to a Roth will be tax-free for the rest of your life.
Nice.
But it has to be done before the end of the year.
Okay.
And your regular 403 or 401k contributions have to be done by the end of the year.
All right.
So that maximum this year, $19,500 of tax deferral or income deferral to the 401k or 403b. And if you're over 50, an additional $6,500. It's called a catch-up.
Catch-up. All right.
For those of us that if we start saving late, we're allowed to
catch up.
Add a little bit more if we're over 50.
Okay.
So that's it. I mean, there's plenty of complicating factors, but the bottom line is save early, save often.
And there are lots of different ways to save just in the IRA realm.
Just in the IRAs.
Because you can certainly save in other areas as well. There's lots of other savings tools, I would imagine.
Sure.
But the IRA has a wealth of them right there. No pun intended, a wealth of them.
And they all have, well, they're all related to taxes.
Okay.
So there's a tax incentive. We're being given an incentive to save for our own future.
That's good.
So we take advantage of it.
Well, that's great. Dan Joss, if somebody wanted to call and talk to you a little more in depth about IRAs and financial planning, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can give me a call, 757-903-2127.
All right.
Or check out our website at jossbrown.com.
All right. And the first consultation is free.
Sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here on Money Talks.
Thank you.
Money Talks is a weekly program presented for the listener's benefit and entertainment. It is provided at no cost to the listener, and the ideas, opinions, and comments are not to be construed as legal advice, tax advice, investment advice, or other advice specific to the listener. Listeners are encouraged to seek the advice of a licensed professional or other qualified party when dealing with financial, legal, tax, medical, investment, insurance, taxidermy, plumbing, electrical, carpentry, real estate, chiropractic, veterinary, oral hygiene, hot air ballooning, etc. We have given you some food for thought. Now, call a licensed professional such as Dan Joss at 757-903-2127. Thanks for listening, and remember, failing to plan is planning to fail.